So today we're going to be going over 10 addicting and intoxicating fragrances that are going to make people obsessed with you, or at least obsessed with whatever it is that you're wearing, and then they're going to come up to you and probably ask you what it is that you're wearing. And in a way, even if they don't say, oh, you smell really, really good, what are you wearing? Even if they just ask, hey, what cologne do you have on? That in and of itself is a compliment. It's just a little bit more indirect. So always remember that. And you might think, oh, that never happens in real life. These YouTubers just talk about getting compliments and stuff all the time. No one wants to hear about those videos and hear about that topic, even though those videos get the most views. Well, you would actually be surprised. If you're approachable and if you're someone that takes care of themselves and that you wear the right types of fragrances, it can happen more often than you think. And you also have to be in the right environment, right? A whole bunch of stuff that goes into it, but to say that it doesn't really happen that often is a little bit ignorant. So what I wanted to do was point you in the right direction. When it comes to choosing the right type of thing to wear for this, you want to choose things that are going to stand out. You know, you don't want to smell like Nautica Voyage or Nautica Blue or a body wash. Nothing wrong with that stuff. But when you want to draw people in, you got to choose something a little bit more substantial. So I will provide links to all these down below to discounters so you can shop and save yourself a lot of money. And there's also a big sale going on at Fragrance By at the time of you watching this. I'll drop a link down below as well, and you can watch that video that I did dedicated to that, so that way you could get the discount structure and all that stuff. I posted a lot of those great deals on the community tab before they even hit, like Hugo Boss Bottled Intense, Tom Ford Tobacco Oud, some discontinued hard to find stuff. So make sure you get subscribed down below so that way you see when I post those amazing deals. I do it every day. I'm also giving away $500 to one of you guys on the community tab as well. I'll put a link in the description to that post so you can enter the giveaway. Get subscribed, you're not going to miss out. Let's start off with Armani Code Parfum. I'm trying to find the front of it. There it is. It was covered by my stupid hand. Armani Code Parfum. A bottle update. So here's my bet, is that the whole line is going to be changed over to these. The reason why is because when you take a gander on discounters, Code Absolute, Code Profumo, and a couple of the others are getting pretty hard to find. Still in stock, but they're just not stocked as heavily as they normally are. And usually discounters stock these heavily because they sell a crap ton of them. And so I look at that and I think that they're probably going to change the whole line over. Just makes sense to me, but I could be wrong. I actually like this presentation a lot. I like the magnetic cap. I like how sleek it looks. Looks a little bit more classy, and it fits this scent very well. It's got tonka bean, iris, cedarwood, so it really does maintain that original Code EDT DNA and EDP. But the addition of iris here makes this one mouth-watering good. I mean, it's addicting, it's sexy, and it separates itself from the original quite a bit to where it's going to have people wondering what this is and how they can get it. Next up, AZZARO Wanted by Night. Similar deal, being that it's a little bit tricky to find. It's in stock right now at the time of me recording this. Hopefully it will be by the time you're watching this. If not, check my community tab. And once it does come in stock, I'll let you know. I've done that quite a few times, and when it does show up, it goes out of stock pretty quick. It's got cinnamon, tobacco, fruity notes, a little bit of lemon in here, kind of with that fruity accord going on. So it's a very sweet style men's fragrance. Try saying that 3 times fast. And what I like about this is it does take, and yes, this sounds stupid, but a nighttime approach to the original DNA. But not only that, it makes it much more interesting compared to the original. And I think it's all around a better fragrance in so many ways, and it's really one of the best in the line. Hugo Boss Bottled Oud. So you might not expect to see an oud fragrance in a video like this, because oud scents, depending on what you get, can be a little bit polarizing and they can kind of repel people sometimes. But this is one that really does quite the opposite. And the reason why is because it's paired with the Boss Bottled DNA, more specifically the richness and the sweetness of Boss Bottled Intense, which is now discontinued. But what they are doing is adding just a little bit of oud. Now it's a very designer level oud. It's a very synthetic oud. Not that it smells necessarily cheap, but I mean, I got to throw that in there because the hardcore niche guys that love oud would immediately come after me and say, oh, that's not real oud. Yeah, it's obviously not real oud in a $50 scent. But what this does do is it really kind of changes it up, and for a designer scent, quite unique. Stronger With You Intensely, another one of those overwhelmingly sweet men's fragrances here. This one has this nice toffee accord mixing with this kind of chestnutty smell. Even though in this one officially they don't list the chestnut note, you kind of still pick up on it a little bit, just reminiscent of the original. And then that sweet toffee accord. It smells a little bit like Replica by the Fireplace to me. It just has this kind of roasted marshmallows, cozy, sitting by the fireplace, not just the scent, but actually sitting by the fireplace type of smell. And I really like it for that reason, because this is more designer level. Not saying that the other isn't designer level, because it's a designer, but you know what I'm saying. So I think this is probably going to be the better scent overall for guys who just want positive feedback and something that still kind of stands out at the same time. Calvin Klein Euphoria Intense. This one also has a little bit of oud, but again, we're talking a Calvin Klein. I don't think you have anything to worry about with the oud in this one. Actually, they do have another one. I think it's Euphoria Gold, and I believe that one's kind of actually heavy on the oud a little bit, so watch out for that one if you're not a fan. But this one here is very easy. There's some supporting woods and amber in here to really kind of just pump up that sweetness and make it very mass pleasing and easy to pull off for most guys out there. You don't have to worry about this one. But it does take a different approach to your typical Calvin Klein, which is what? Usually a freshie, one of their summer editions. You've smelled them a million times. They still come out with them every year. Those could be a little bit boring. This one's actually kind of interesting, and it's affordable. So this one just kind of did the old vanishing act, kind of towards the end of summer. I was talking about this one a lot this summer. It probably made it #1 in my summer list because I love the scent. And during times of supply and demand and just in peak season, it kind of makes sense that it would sell out. But it's RASASI HAWAS, and it's back. About $47, 100 mil. Price has maybe gone up a little bit. It's to be expected. Really, it's kind of happening with everything, regardless of what hobby you're into and what fragrance it is. Things are going to fluctuate a little bit, but still, I think it's worth that price because this originated the Invictus Aqua DNA, which is now discontinued, and in its prime, it was still going for $70, $80, still kind of is actually, and this is the better scent to me. It's better performing than the 2018 version. It's even better quality to me, believe it or not. It's got that plum, ambroxan, watery note, fruitiness going on, and this is the one to get, and you can save money getting the better version, at least in my humble opinion. And it's really a good one to have if you want to have people obsessed and just thinking about that smell, and they're going to just feel like they have to go ask you because they're not going to ever find it on their own. And look, I know Invictus Aqua, a very popular scent that did well, but you would be surprised on how well that one still works. One that is also not really as popular, but did get discontinued. It's Prada Luna Rossa Black. Now, it's been confirmed by the brand. I know there's some speculation, and maybe the brand lied. Maybe the rep didn't know what they were talking about, which could very well be. But, you know, you can still buy this one at retail. Discounters, good luck. You know, it's just one of those deals, right? But what I will say is that you should get a bottle, regardless discontinued or not, because it's very, very good stuff if you like tonka bean and just generally powdery men's scents. If you don't like that, well, then don't get it. But I think a lot of you guys who clicked on this style of video and saw the things in the thumbnail and were just kind of expecting fragrances like this, I think you guys are in the right place and you would like this one. But again, just a fair warning, very powdery stuff, not your typical traditionally masculine scent. But again, what it will do very well is it will leave an imprint. It will leave a lasting impression on people. And this is the type of thing that someone will remember you by. If this is your signature scent, chances are if you see that person again years down the road, months down the road, whatever, they're going to smell this and be like, oh yeah, I remember you because of this right here. It just really leaves a mark. So this one is a very oddball choice, but I wanted to have some fun, and I do really think that this fragrance here can be a powerful piece of equipment if you use it correctly and you're the guy that's fit for it. It's Tuscan leather. So you got to be confident. You got to be really rocking with it. You know, you got to commit to it. But I think with the right people that are wearing it and the right people surrounding you, you're going to get some just, you know, crazy reactions. And it's just because it's a bizarre scent, being that it's legitimately leather. It has leather. It's kind of animalic, but it's strong. It's earthy. It's almost kind of stringent, but it still has this addicting and ultimately very mysterious kind of quality to it. It's just one that's kind of mesmerizing. I love Tuscan leather. The intense version is also great if you can find it. But I think, again, in the right circumstances, you can have some great results from this. Running down to the end, PHILIPP PLEIN, No Limits. So I've talked about this one a good amount as well. It's got dark chocolate. There's a good dose of leather in here as well, although not anywhere close to Tuscan leather. It's more just very designer level, and you know, be closer, I guess, to ombre leather by Tom Ford if you wanted to compare it to another like OG leather scent. Not saying this smells like that, because it doesn't at all, but the leather accord itself is very tame. If Tuscan leather isn't your thing, then maybe you would like this, because it has a lot of sweetness backing it up. That chocolate and everything else going on in here, a little bit of a tonka bean vanillic sweetness to really kind of cushion that leather note a little bit and just make it a little bit more pleasing to the nose. You know, when you take a look at this brand, they're going to be wanting to push it and be a little bit edgy, but at the same time, they still want to get compliments and be mass pleasing. And so I think they did a really good job, actually, given the image of the brand, on creating something that does that very well. You know, it's not your Acqua di Gio type of thing, which this was done by Alberto Marias, right, who made Acqua di Gio, of course. So I'm not dissing that fragrance, but it's, you know, something that is going to stand out. And maybe it'll offend some people, but it's also going to really intrigue people, and I think that is really cool, especially, again, for this brand. We'll end this one with SERGE LUTENS CHERGUI. So it's got honey, tobacco, and a little bit of tonka bean in here. This stuff is beautiful. I mean, it's been around since like, what, 2005? I remember this had a little bit of a hype wave going on around when I was first starting. So about 5 years ago, just fall time, I was getting into it. And maybe even a year after that, 4 years ago, I was seeing this one. And it wasn't until this year that I finally got this. Put it off. No idea why. But this is the type of thing that I love now. When I was first starting out, I wouldn't have gone near this. And in fact, like I said, I didn't go near this because I was into the aquatic freshies. But this is the type of thing that you go for if you want something interesting with ample amounts of depth and richness and uniqueness and great, great performance. And on top of that, you get a truly just inviting, delicious, addicting smelling scent that is going to turn a lot of heads. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 intoxicating and addicting fragrances that are going to have people obsessed with you, and probably more so the scent, but hey, maybe you as well. So again, if you're someone who doesn't want to get approached, you know, kind of approach these with a grain of salt when you're wearing them out, because these do have that head-turning factor to where people just are going to be curious. And we'll provide links down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.